Welcome, coin collectors and treasure hunters. In today's video, we're taking a closer look at the Lincoln Wheat Penny, a historic coin that could be worth far more than face value in exceptional condition. We'll explore its history, rare varieties, mint marks, valuable errors, grading, and documented auction prices reaching into thousands of dollars. So, check your old pennies carefully. The 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny is an interesting and historically important issue in the classic Lincoln cent series, but it's important to clarify one point at the beginning. 1940 is not a U.S. bicentennial coin. The American bicentennial was celebrated in 1976, while the 1940 cent belongs to the Wheat Reverse Lincoln cent series that ran from 1909 through 1958. Nevertheless, an exceptionally preserved 1940 penny can become a surprisingly valuable numismatic item, especially when it has outstanding original red color, superior strike quality, and a very high certified grade. The 1940 issue was produced in enormous numbers compared with famous key dates, so an ordinary circulated example generally has only a modest premium over face value. Its real excitement comes from condition rarities and top-grade specimens. PCGS records an auction price of $14,950 for a 1940 Philadelphia cent graded MS-68, demonstrating that an otherwise common date can become a five-figure coin when preservation reaches an extraordinary level. Historically, the 1940 wheat penny was produced during an important period in American history, just before the United States entered World War II. The Lincoln cent had already been in production for more than 3 decades, having been introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Lincoln remained on the obverse, while the famous wheat ear reverse represented agriculture and prosperity. In 1940, cents were struck at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia produced 586,810,000 pieces without a mint mark. Denver produced 81,390,000 marked with a D, and San Francisco produced 112,940,000 marked with an S. Philadelphia also struck approximately 15,872 proof cents that year, creating a separate collectible category. The physical design of the 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny is classic and immediately recognizable to collectors. The obverse shows Abraham Lincoln facing right, with "In God We Trust" above his head, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1940 to the right. On Denver and San Francisco examples, the small D or S mint mark appears beneath the date. The reverse displays 2 stylized wheat ears surrounding the inscriptions 1 cent, and United States of America with E pluribus unum above. The coin measures approximately 19 millimeters in diameter, weighs 3.11 grams, and has a plain edge. Its traditional composition is approximately 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving an original uncirculated specimen the characteristic warm reddish-orange appearance that collectors prize. One of the biggest reasons an ordinary 1940 penny can become an extraordinary collectible is condition. Hundreds of millions were struck, meaning the date itself is not particularly scarce. However, finding an example that survived decades with virtually no wear, strong luster, sharp details, and attractive original red color is a completely different matter. Copper coins are especially sensitive to environmental conditions, and the original bright red color can gradually change to red-brown or brown through oxidation and storage. Professional grading services distinguish these color categories as BN, RB, and RD, with RD generally commanding the strongest premiums when the coin also has a high numerical grade. Consequently, a heavily circulated 1940 penny might be worth only a small amount, while an exceptional MS-67 or MS-68 red specimen can move into hundreds, thousands, or even five-figure territory, depending on the exact issue and market. The 3 major regular 1940 issues also have different collecting characteristics. The Philadelphia 1940 Lincoln cent, identified by the absence of mint mark, is by far the most common, with its 586.81 million mintage. The 1940 D is considerably lower in production at 81.39 million, while the 1940S had a mintage of 112.94 million. Despite these differences, none should automatically be described as an ultra-rare date in circulated condition. Instead, the scarcity becomes much more meaningful at the very top of the grading scale. The 1940 D provides an excellent example. PCGS reports an auction record of $10,800 for an MS-68RD specimen sold by Heritage Auctions on January 19, 2025. That result illustrates why collectors should not assume that a high mintage means every example is inexpensive. The individual coin's grade, color, strike, surface quality, and certification can dramatically change its value. The 1940 S is another fascinating example of condition rarity. Although its mintage was substantially larger than Denver's, spectacularly preserved red examples are still desirable to advanced Lincoln scent collectors. PCGS records a $9,600 auction result for an MS-68RD 1940 S, sold by Stax Bowers in October 2018. The auction description identified the specimen as one of the finest known examples, with only 2 coins reported at that grade at the time and none finer in the cited population. This is exactly the type of situation that creates dramatic price differences within the same date and mint. 1940 S penny may be an inexpensive circulated coin, while another, virtually flawless and professionally certified example can command thousands of dollars.